Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 109, Diamondbacks versus Pirates Game 3. Lineup of the day, Gabe Marino playing catcher, Kento Marte at DH, Tim Tawa at first base, Vargas at second base, and Jorge Barosa at center field, and the rest is the same. Looking at it and stuff, pretty much of the people did not get a base hit is Perdomo, Nolan Arenado, Tim Tawa, and Jorge Barosa. So very close up 50-50 chance, and now 4 people or 5 did not get a base hit. And stuff, the rest did and stuff. Max Kempler went 2 for 4. Honestly enough, that's pretty good. Overall, enough for the rest, enough to get some base hits. Pretty good overall. Not the best, not the worst or anything and stuff, but I would definitely say medium way game of enough, so that's that. Pitching wise of enough, starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, Eduardo Rodriguez, went 8 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 2, walked 1, gave up none runs. So eight innings with giving no runs and stuff. That's pretty insane enough. Good for Rodriguez to go up there and stuff. Fortunately enough, not a whole lot strikeouts and stuff, but fortunately enough to get out some damage and stuff, and make it a little tough for the Pirates. For their offense and stuff, so pretty good over that. And then Brandon Garcia came in to close it out for his first save, I guess, for the series and stuff. So that's pretty much of that. And then pitcher for the Pirates was Jared Jones. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, gave up 3 runs. So fortunately enough, he was also did really good and stuff. More strikeouts than what Rodriguez gave and stuff. But pretty much overall, like, I get enough the Diamondbacks got a little off of him in a way than Rodriguez did against the Pirates. So overall, I think great matchup both sides and stuff. It's just Rodriguez just didn't give no runs and Jones did. So it's hard to be very successful enough with the whole game and stuff, and the one is just doing less than the other and stuff. It's kind of crazy how that works, but yeah, it's what it is and stuff. Fortunately enough actually, I'll speak another later on and stuff. Scoring wise of enough. So there's only 2 things I want to talk about of scoring. This is the only scoring. Fortunately enough, the Pirates did not score at all this whole game, and so rest for the Diamondbacks. Meant to say, sorry. So fortunately enough, these are the only ones, and I will talk about them and stuff. Gabe Marino with a 2 home run to make it 2-0 top of the 4th, and then Max Kepler with the RBI single to make it 3-0 top of the 6th, and that is the final score. The Diamondbacks won 3-0. Their final record right now is 57-52, and stuff looking good for the Pirates. I keep saying Pirates. For the Diamondbacks, and also they did win the series over the Pirates and stuff. And also, just letting you know of this later and stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what I need to talk about and stuff. Before, when we were playing the Pirates in the first series against them in the first half of the season, we actually lost the series over the Pirates in 3-game series of winning 1-2 and stuff. So now this is the time we actually won. So we kind of split the series, both of the series against the Pirates. Fortunately enough, we're not going to play the Pirates anymore and stuff. So that is that, but it is good to see of enough of both teams overall, the Diamondbacks and the Pirates are in like very close enough to be in the wild card spot and stuff, and just be very close, around that 500 mark and whatever and stuff. But fortunately enough, like the Diamondbacks are doing a lot much better than other teams in the wild card spot and not be at around like 500. Like we are in 500, but not like right on the dot. But fortunately, and this is what it is and stuff. So that's pretty much of that and stuff. And also, we just caught up and passed, or I think we are tied with the Phillies for the wild card spot. So pretty good. And also, I thinking the Cubs are in first place in the wild card spot and stuff, and we're nowhere close to them and stuff. So if we want to be part of that situation stuff, the Diamondbacks need to just keep going, win some games, and hopefully enough the Cubs do lose some games and stuff. So that's the only other thing, if we can really compete with them as well. So that is that. Progress. Here and there and stuff. I just thinking they just need to keep working on it. Marino did great and stuff. The people who did get on base hits and stuff did pretty good. The rest they still need to work on and stuff. Like I get Marte got a base hit as well and stuff. So it's just like overall he did get a good hit and read it very wellly. So he only got one base hit and stuff, but not too much. So that's what it is. Fortunately enough for Kendall Marte, I got fooled by this and stuff. Fortunately enough, let me go somewhere. Sorry, I'm going a little off guard from this and stuff. Fortunately enough, I saw a Instagram photo of having. So fortunately enough, this is just rumors, and generally enough, again, I only saw this from Instagram. I don't know who it is from, MLB something, blah blah blah, here and there and stuff. But fortunately enough, it just didn't look real overall and stuff. I thought it was, maybe, who knows and stuff. That's why I want to talk about it in a way. But fortunately enough, currently enough of what I know, is something wrong with Kendall Marte and stuff. And I also heard rumors from on a Instagram photo, again, hearing about of enough of Kendall Marte delete his account from by subscribing to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So to me of enough, I don't know what that means in a way of enough. Maybe there's like a something going on with the Diamondbacks and Kendall Marte and stuff. Again, I don't know what's going on with that and stuff, but the rumor enough, what I also saw another thing was having him getting traded to the Houston Astros and stuff, and I got fooled by it because fortunately enough it didn't look real, or it did, or whatever and stuff. Because this is the other thing about this, because obviously enough it was the Astros, and I'm not really gonna be more of a surprise because obviously the Astros, the cheating squad of 2017 through 2019, whatever, blah blah blah, here and there of the Astros and stuff. You're not gonna enjoy most of them and stuff, but I wouldn't care if Marte went to the Astros. Like, he would go, I think, and he would fit for other teams besides the Diamondbacks and stuff. If he's still on the team, I'd still root for him. All these typical things and stuff. I don't hate Kendall Marte. It's just I just don't like his swing. That's the only thing, the biggest I don't like from him and stuff. He has a great attitude. He wants to be succeed and stuff. He's just not showing it in the game very often and stuff. And I don't know if he's learning anything because the coach are not really, not really doing anything to effect of what he's doing wrong and what he needs to work on and stuff, and it just looks like same old sloppy swings he's been doing past few weeks and stuff, and the progress from that is just not going so well and stuff. There's no progress and stuff. Like, you can say a little bit here and there and stuff, but none really coming out from him at all and stuff. So again, I don't know what's going on with Marte and generally with the what's going on with the clubhouse and just the Diamondbacks relationship with him and stuff. I don't know and stuff. And the thing is, it's enough of the only thing I thought this was really real because again, I think it is MLB. I don't know MLB really faked this and generally of enough, or they messed up. Who knows? I have no idea. And generally, I'm just the person saw it and stuff. I seen other comments from it saying like, if this is fake, this is nothing, blah blah here and there and stuff. So let's just talk a little bit of it, not a whole lot, but just like I want to understand why enough of I got fooled by it and stuff, and it was a little off here and there. Why enough of like is this really real or anything? So fortunately, I looked up of the players were going to get traded was coming to the Diamondbacks and stuff. We were going to get two pitchers from the Astros and stuff. One of them is AJ Bluhara or Blue Bra, I guess how you say his name and stuff. Anyways, enough. He is like legit of a pitcher on the Astros, like currently right now, like blah blah here and there and stuff. I don't know. He's let me look at his stats. So he looks like a starting pitcher because he or maybe he's relief. I don't know, because this year he only has 4 wins and lost 2. So, and he has 69 strikeouts. So his ERA is not that bad. But 40 games. Yeah, I think he's relief. I think so. So that just shows. I don't mind enough doing this enough if this is like a legit trade and stuff. I don't mind. I don't know this person at all. Never seen him before. This is like the first time I'm hearing his name overall and stuff. But that is what the image says on the bottom of it, and especially enough of Jeff Passan is connected with this, so maybe there are rumors enough where Jeff Passan was saying about, hey, like this would be like an idea enough for a good trade for the Diamondbacks and the Astros or something like that. And maybe that could be just a rumor of they were talking about it but not confirmed to it and stuff. Who knows because of that. The other thing it threw me off is the other pitcher was coming to the Diamondbacks with the trade with Ken Marte and stuff is Lance McCullers Jr. So here's the other thing. Fortunately enough, yes, I know who that is. I've seen him pitch before and stuff. He was also on the Astros. He's not on the Astros anymore, so that's another thing and stuff. He actually got traded this year away from the Astros and went to the Brewers and stuff. And fortunately enough, looking to his Wikipedia and stuff, fortunately enough, he is a free agent and stuff. So I don't know if he got injured and just out for the season in a way against for the Brewers. Fortunately not, he's not playing for the Brewers and generally of enough. He's not even on the 40 roster or just the active roster with the Brewers or the Astros or any kind. I don't think he's even playing baseball right now. That's why He is free agency right now. So the only way of enough, I remember enough of there was a thing where he did went to the Brewers. He did play for the Brewers and stuff. He's not there anymore and stuff. So now I realize enough. Like, okay, so I knew this was a little off here and there and stuff because to me enough of if he didn't go to the Brewers, maybe this is like legit trade and stuff. And then fortunately enough for him actually did play for the Brewers and stuff. And then now seeing his Wikipedia of saying free agency and stuff, and maybe of enough of that's just conflict with the trade, just as him before of being with the Astros, and just adding with him with AJ as well and stuff, trading for kind of Marte to the Astros and stuff. So again, in a way of enough, I thought no, like it would be clickable, whatever here and there and stuff, but fortunately of enough. It is not really confirmed. Fortunately, now Marte actually played in this game and stuff, and also he is still on the roster for the Diamondbacks and stuff. So no trade at all. I think it was an idea maybe out there. It could be confirmed later on and stuff. Who knows of this and stuff? But fortunately enough, if I get fooled by this, in a way, you fooled me, Instagram. Like, you literally did that from the MLB Network, whatever, who were of it, Jeff Passan. Like, doesn't matter who you are and stuff. You fooled me because I literally thought enough this could be real and stuff. I would not be mad if it was real or something. I'm honestly enough, I'm fine if it is not real and stuff. Like, I wouldn't really care so much if he leaves or stays to the team. I wish we get a better second baseman overall and stuff, or Marte needs to play better offense overall and stuff. Like, I would take Luis Arias over Kendall Marte and stuff because enough for Luis Arias is honestly a really great defense at second baseman. We didn't really see that coming and stuff. And then fortunately having him with a good decent bat on his shoulder because he has won batting titles in his career, like with the Marlins or maybe the Twins and the Padres and stuff, the other teams he'd been playing for and stuff. So, and I also did heard about rumors about Luis Arias was coming to the Diamondbacks last year, and when the rumor with Alex Bregman was also thinking of coming to the Diamondbacks, and that's why we got Nolan Arenado instead. And I would prefer Nolan Arenado over Bregman. And I've heard things about Bregman's not really that good player, so we got a good solid of that in some ways. I don't know. So yeah, it's weird. I'm also hearing about rumors about Luis Guerrero Jr. Sorry, I said that wrong. I apologize. Luis Garcia Jr. I don't know why. I don't know what I said in the middle. I think I said the right name and stuff. The person played for I guess he played first base for the Nationals. Yeah, I heard something about enough of the Diamondbacks need a first baseman. Like, bro, like we got about three good first basemen can play first base. Like Tyler Lawler is there. He's here and there and stuff. We got Tim Tawa can play first base. Really good defense and stuff. We don't have Carlos Santana anymore and stuff. Good, because he's not really that good anymore and stuff. And then we also have Vargas as well as like a backup first baseman, if so. And all three of them are really good defense and good offense. So I just don't know. Like, I like Luis Garcia Jr. I think he would really good fit for the Diamondbacks, but it's just like it's so hard where enough of where you do have players on the team and they're doing good, and another person like replace that player and stuff, and the other player was here, um, can't play anymore because of the new person replaced the old players and stuff. And I just feeling like just that's not right, So depends on how good the player is and stuff, and typical things here and there and stuff. So just like that's where enough of like I struggle with this where enough of just like like we like it'd be cool and all to have him on the team, but what we're gonna get back to regret of enough if Lottler is a good player for our team and do good and stuff. What's the matter enough to get a first baseman anyways and stuff? And if so, if Tyler Lottler is going to play first base and stuff, and if we do get Garcia Jr. on the team and stuff, maybe he can replace Marte at second base. Who knows? And stuff. But fortunately enough, Marte defense is not that bad overall. I think that's his strength from Marte and stuff as a great second baseman. He's one of the best and stuff. It's just his offense is not doing so well. So that's that. So they just gotta keep working on it, because being consistent and all these typical things. Pitching wise, enough progress. Fortunately enough, good for Rodriguez overall. 0-run Rodriguez, all of those jokes about him and stuff, all of that. It's all great. It's interesting enough of Brandon Garcia is the one closed it out and stuff and getting his first save from the season, whatever, blah, 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 here and there and stuff. Again, I didn't hear this, but fortunately I heard from my dad saying about from Torey Lovullo is probably not going to let Paul Sewald pitch ever again. Sucks for him in a way, like I get it and stuff. He has let down a couple games and stuff, but he has over 20 saves. Like that's still pretty good overall and stuff. If we wouldn't be in this situation if it was him and stuff. So obviously he helps a huge amount of the team overall and stuff. It's just he just has bad days and stuff. So, I get it enough of he lost the save. And also he gave Brandfott the law. Didn't get the win overall because he should overall and stuff. But it's what it is, But you shouldn't punish, Paul Sewald, just not be the closer anymore and stuff. And here's the other thing, enough of I don't like the idea. So this is where enough of I'm going to have a struggle with this if it doesn't work out. So where I don't like is where Lovullo thought enough of the idea to having other pitchers to come in to close it out. So fortunately enough for Brandon Garcia to pitch in this game, who knows if he's going to pitch in the next game or the next or the next. Because obviously enough for tomorrow, or I'm recording this the next day. It's literally Friday, and so when I'm recording this, like in the morning, and stuff. Because we're playing the Guardians, and stuff, and who knows if we do going to win the game, who's going to close the game now, and stuff. And again, I could say enough of Garcia could close it again, if Lovullo is going to do that, or he's going to go someone else besides of Garcia or Paul Sewald, because I don't think Sewald is not going to come back. I don't think he's going to pitch ever again if this is going to happen and stuff. So this means enough if he's going to have other closers, not just having one closer. And this is where in the beginning where I struggled last year, where he did this from last year, where he had multiple pitchers in the bullpen to come in and close the game, and we went downhill from that and stuff. And I just don't think that's very smart in a way and stuff. It's just like I don't understand this. It doesn't give it the rhythm. These pitchers are not very well good at this spot generally enough, and just moving them around and saying enough of, oh, you close this game, oh, you close the next game, oh, you close the next game before that and stuff, like all those typical things. Like, it's just like I don't know if that's a good idea. And again, you already did this once, you failed. Why do you think enough of you could actually succeed at this time? And so in a way, if it doesn't work, what are you gonna do now? Put Posey Wald again? What's the reason of to take him out in the first place? So that's the other thing. Hopefully, I would be glad if they do make this successful in a way and stuff, and if this actually works and get us to the playoffs and get to the World Series, all those typical things and stuff, to get this team to be good and stuff. Like, it's possibility. I'm not saying of enough of they're gonna do good or bad. It can go either way, but I'm just saying from the experience from last year of what they did the same thing and stuff, it just didn't go well and stuff. And I just don't think that was a bright idea for Lavello to do in the game last year and stuff. And we always had the chance enough to win the game at the end when they had this situation or this strategy they thought was good went horrible, where we lost the game at the end of the game and stuff. So and we've been doing pretty solid with Seawald, so having him not being in it anymore is gonna change it definitely in a weird way. And for these pitchers, if they're gonna come in and close it, they gotta close the game and stuff. Like, I get Paul Sewell did his job and stuff, and he just didn't do so well from last time because he gave up so much home runs away and stuff. It's tough, but it just, I get enough. He needs to do his job and stuff, and he didn't do it. So maybe this is just his punishment of enough for Lavello, for him and stuff. But I don't know. You need a closer. Like, you need a number one closer and stuff. And I still haven't heard Justin Martinez at all. I don't know. He's still on the team. I thought they were ready for him. Still haven't seen him. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. AJ Pug is still back on the team as well and stuff. I honestly have no idea what's going on with this team and stuff for our closer and stuff. And if you want to have a closer, just have Garcia as the closer. If you don't want Sewald anymore, he did great, and he should do more and stuff. Like, why not? You know, he's a good pitcher overall. He has great numbers and stuff, and he did very dominant from this game and got the win, got the save, and did his job and stuff. So having that of enough to keep along with him to be the closer all games and stuff, if he does it very successful, keep him in there as that closer at the ninth inning if we do win the game and stuff. That's all that matters. But if they change it up, like for Kevin Ginkel to come in, or Ryan Thompson, or Taylor Clark to come in to close it at the ninth inning and stuff, I'm just saying enough. If it doesn't work, it's just going to blow it in Lavello's face overall, because, again, I'm telling you, it didn't work last year. What do you think it's going to work this time and stuff? It's just, I don't know. It's just not a good strategy, in my opinion, in a way of enough. If you're going to have a weird rhythm with the pitchers and the bullpen and stuff, and that could change a lot of things. And they were not ready from last year. Maybe they are ready for this year. Who knows? I have no idea. I could be wrong. Lavello could be wrong and stuff, but it's just, I don't know. It's just like, I feel bad for Sewald in a way enough to having his job taken away from him and stuff. Obviously, he's still on the team. I don't know if they're still going to keep using him and stuff. If he is going to get better and stuff, maybe use him. But overall, just, I don't know. It's kind of crazy how it is and stuff. But yeah. And then the MVP for the Diamondbacks for this game is Gabe Moreno. This is his 5th MVP on this podcast. Good for him. He's been solid. I love his swing overall and stuff. So keep at it and stuff. I mentioned we're playing the Guardians. Today I had a break, so unfortunately just doing this recording. All those typical things here and there. We'll be back to normal and all that stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.